So I gotta go to work in an hour, but I got here early, so I'm finishing this book, right? So after the man came back and whipped Maureen's ass again, and they went over there, we already know that Ruby went and beat his ass. So Ruby beat his ass pretty bad, and she was just like, yo, I gotta kill him. And everybody was like, no, you can't kill him. And I feel Ruby because I'm a black girl, and I just beat the motherfucker goddamn out of this white lawyer. I gotta kill him because they gonna kill me regardless. And then so the white girls just are like, you already done him enough. If you kill him, then they gonna hang you. They're gonna hang me anyway. I might as well just finish the deed because as long as y'all don't tell. So what were we worried about? But anyway, so they didn't kill him and they left, and I feel like that's gonna come back in the end of the book where because they should have killed him, just for entertainment purposes. You know what I mean? They should have killed him, but I feel like he gonna come back. And then so they go back to Miss Maureen's house, and the Marine is just like, yo, y'all can't stay here. And this charge send them to a black courthouse, and Ruby's are like, yo, I wouldn't let a dog live here, let alone humans. And Othella's like, I really do not want a prostitute anymore. And no one's understanding that Othella does not want to hold. She never wanted to. Well, she's pregnant. I don't know if I said that. She's pregnant now, so now she definitely like, nah, I can't do that. And I'm not about to raise no baby in the whole house. Like, nah, that's not about to happen. So they end up getting in joining the goddamn carnival, cleaning up done at the carnival. Somehow they in Florida. I'm like, bro, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so back on Mama Ruby, and I promise it's not the filter that got me looking this bad. The filter is helping because I feel like crap. Othella and Ruby find their way in Florida, working for the carnival, cleaning up ish. And then they have a second job in the fields picking strawberries. And during that time, Othella keeps sneaking out. And she comes back and tells Ruby, like, yo, I met a husband. I met a man. And then they end up getting married the next day. So now Othella is 16 and married. And Ruby is not married. So, Othella's husband, Eugene, is trying to hook Ruby up with his homeboy, Roy. And Roy doesn't work for the white man. He has his own house that he's renting from a black person. And he has furniture, and he's a bootlegger. But that's okay because he go to church every Sunday. So you can bootleg if you go to church on Sunday, apparently, according to Othella. But he got money. And so he's going to meet Ruby, but he's out of town visiting a cousin. And Ruby's been waiting for him for the past week, but he's still visiting his cousin. Now, my spidey senses is going up, like, is your cousin dying? Like, what's up with your cousin? And why are you visiting your cousin? This just don't sound believable. So we read and we find out that Roy is not visiting his cousin. He's with one of his lady friends. Roy has been married 3 times, and he's a womanizer, and he's violent to women. Ruby doesn't know any of this because Eugene's not saying any of this. But the thing is that Othella said Ruby's desperate and she'll take anything. And Roy was like, yo, I'll take her. And then so Eugene was just like, well, I got a friend named Roy if you're still available. And then she was like, I'm available and desperate. I'll take anything. She's 15 and this is way back in the day. Don't ever be desperate because when you're desperate, you get a womanizer. And then when you put it out there like, oh, I'm desperate and I'll take anything, then you'll get anything. You do not want anything. You want to wait until you get the right things. It's really hard for me to be out here in these damn serving streets and serving. But I'd rather do that than just get the raggedy ass fucking Tyrone, Craig, all that other ghetto raggedy shit. Can't do it. No, I'm not desperate. Nobody's desperate. Work hard. Don't be desperate because you're going to get a reward. I just finished Mama Ruby. Ruby and Othella met some men in Florida and got married. Ruby met a man who was a bootlegger, and he worked really hard and had a lot of money, and he spoiled the hell out of Ruby. He gave Ruby everything that he needed. everything that she needed, everything that she wanted. He just spoiled the hell out of her. He spoiled her because she was young and dumb. He had bitches everywhere, but he liked the fact that Ruby was a hard worker. She was just the perfect wife. She was the perfect housekeeper. How he described her, she cooked, she cleaned, she didn't complain. Sound like a housekeeper, but he said perfect wife. Othella's husband got tired of Othella real soon and started cheating on her and going out of town. He ended up leaving Othella while she was pregnant. Ruby was pregnant, and she found out that her husband was cheating on her. She was looking out the window and saw her husband drive by, and she followed that car to a bar, walked in the bar, saw her husband with a hoochie on his lap. And the hoochie, I hate when hoochies talk shit. The hoochie talking shit. So Othella slapped the shit out of hoochie, and Ruby slapped the shit on her, out the hoochie. And her husband's like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you here embarrassing me? And then he tries to slap Ruby, and Ruby dodged him and slapped the shit out of him, and his false tooth fell out. This is all in a white bar in front of white people in the 1950s. So, no, this is in the 40s, I believe. This is in the 40s. So he's like, the white man's like, yo, I'm calling the cops. And then he was like, don't worry about it, I got it. So he slaps Ruby, and Ruby's a big bitch. Like Bernice, that's a big bitch. So she ain't move. Then he punched her in the stomach, which is mad disrespectful, like she pregnant with your baby. But I know that means nothing, but she pregnant with your baby. He punched her in the face. None of this worked. Next thing you know, Ruby pulls out that gun that he gave to her and taught her how to use and shot his ass. She shot him. They take her to jail. And everybody attests that it's self-defense. Everybody's like, yo, this is what happened, so it's self-defense. She got a month and a day in jail because when she found out her husband was cheating, she was working for a white woman. And when she got up and left the house, she left the white kids by themselves. And a little 4-year-old boy played with matches and set the kitchen on fire. So Ruby had to go to jail for child neglect. And she only had to do a month, so she was like, whatever. So her and Othella give birth to 2 boys. And Ruby's husband's dead, has a funeral, and Othella's husband eventually leaves her for a woman. So time goes on. Ruby doesn't have another kid. She has that one boy, but she treats her little boy like a girl. So Othella's like, yo, you gotta figure out what you gonna do, because I know you said that you lost your daughter, but you can't keep treating your son like a girl, because he gonna grow up to be a sissy. And you know how hard it is for him to be black. And then you gonna make him be a black sissy and he light skinned? Ruby don't want to hear. She putting bonnets and barrettes and furly things in her son's hair. Eventually, at 6, he ripped the shit off and got like, yo, I'm not doing this. And then that night he cut his hair. His hair was down to his waist. He told his mom, like, I don't like you dressing me like this. I'm not your daughter. You need to have a daughter. I want you to have a daughter more than you want to have a daughter, because I'm tired of you treating me like your daughter. She was like, but you're so cute and everybody thinks you look like a girl anyway. This is how fucking delusional Ruby is. But she's clearly delusional. She's been delusional her whole life, so duh. Why am I mad at Ruby for being delusional when clearly the bitch is delusional? Othella ends up having 8 kids. 1 boy, the rest is girls. This is driving Ruby crazy. So, I think Othella's on her 9th child now. Yeah, so she's pregnant with this 9th child. And Ruby makes a joke. And she said, if this one's a girl, I'm going to steal your baby. Oh, but before, Othella had promised Ruby, if I have a girl, I'm going to give you my daughter. So Ruby had made a joke about stealing the baby. And then Othella was like, would you really steal my baby? And Ruby didn't really answer her, because she was just like, I mean, why would I steal your baby? I would have stole the other ones if I was to steal your baby. She didn't say that, but she was just like, why would I steal your baby? You know, like, I've always been there for you. Like, I got you. So, Ruby accidentally gets a letter from Othella's mom, and then so she don't open it, and she tells Othella, like, your mom wrote you a letter, I think you should read it. And she was like, no, I'm gonna read it till later, because mommy always telling me bad news, and I'm about to have a baby in a few hours. I don't want to have to go through this again. My bad, y'all. So, in the letter, Othello's mom is like, yo, I'm dying, and before I die, I just wanted to find out where Ruby's daughter was. So Simone, Othello's mom, went to the insane asylum. She dropped the baby off at insane asylum, convolutional, whatever. I don't remember what they said. So she went to the asylum, and they was like, yo, we can't help you, but there's been a girl who's been working here for a long time. She can probably help you find the baby tomorrow, but you got to come back tomorrow. She go back the next day, and she look at that little girl and start crying because she's looking dead at her son. And she was just like, yo, I knew that was my grandbaby because that girl looked just like my son. And she even got the birthmark that my son got on the same side of his face. It's a cat paw or something. They got the same birthmark. So Simone cries and tells the little girl what happened. Was like, this is what happened. I'm your grandmother. And the little girl cries and was like, I would love to meet my mother. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anybody. Like, I get it, but I'm 15 and I'm about to get married. And, well, I'm married and I'm pregnant, so I want my mother to be there. Being married and pregnant at 15 and well-established at 15 is crazy, but we'll talk about that in another video. So Simone wrote that in the letter, and Ruby never finished the letter. I mean, they never opened the letter, so they don't know what's in there. And then later on, Othello gives birth, and Ruby ends up stealing the baby. Well, I knew Ruby was going to steal the baby because they kept talking about it. But why did Ruby steal the baby when she could have just took the baby? She didn't have to steal it. She could have just like, let me have this baby. Othello got enough going on. Othello just wanted that check, honestly. She didn't have the babies for the check, but she was happy that this baby was going to get her more money. But Othello did not want to be a mother, and she just kept having babies because she was trying to find a husband. And every time she thought she found one, they got her pregnant and disappeared. Whew. So that's how the book ends. This is book 1, so I have to go get book 2. Book 2 is actually book 1. But the author wrote the pre-story for that book, making that book part 2, and this part 1. So I have to go and read part 2. But it's not that I don't like how it ended, but I don't like how it ended. But I expected to end like that because I expected Ruby to do all this. If I would have ended it better, Ruby would have had a conversation and they would have been mature adults. But clearly, Ruby's not a mature adult, so why would I expect that? I'm not expecting that. I love Mary Monroe, and I think she did an amazing job with this story. I'm definitely involved in this character, this book. Ruby always had issues, and I can see as a therapist in training where her issues come from. And then the whole time Ruby has been gone for 15 years, she never even called or wrote her parents. She had that much trauma and damage in her life that she still was a child. And that's the point. At 15, she started living her life as a woman. She is a child. So that's where Arrested Development comes in and why she's a 30-year-old woman who still thinks like a 15-year-old. But yes, I like this book. There's some discussion questions that I might go over with you guys when I have a bra and my hair is done. But I really like this book, and it took me 5 days to read it. I started on Monday. It took me 6 days to read it. I started on Monday and I finished. Yeah, I don't know how many days it is. I can't count. I'm tired. So what's today, Sunday? No, I think I got the book. Yeah, it's been 5 days because I got the book on Tuesday, actually. Yeah, but anyways.